thank you everyone for coming. Even though I'm an Indian artist, Shaina, my wife, and who's in the audience, and myself have been working in many places this year and in the last few years. And we just arrived from Israel and Palestine like yesterday, so it's we're still kind of jet lagged, which is, we find ourselves often traveling as artists. So excuse me if I'm not all here. Okay. In today's talk, I will be speaking about three what I consider modern materials, and they are electricity, water, and video. I make this choice to speak here about three materials because they are at the same time kind of universal, as in we all use and understand and work with these materials, but at the same time they have a lot of differences in the way their distribution, for example, has been part of the modern city, and part of films, and part of new or continuing projects like the internet. So in a way, these are the base, these are, you can see them as primary materials for the creation of modern technological systems. In some way we can, and I will demonstrate in a way how we could read them as fundamental to the modern human condition. Okay, now we come to a different kind of video question, which is to do with the camera as a room. So in Latin, the word camera and the word chambre, which came into French, and camera, which came into Hindi, had the same root. That means the camera is a room. It's the same word.
次はcamera.
So this is an installation. It's an empty room. There's nothing in it. The window is open. After some time, the window starts to close and the room becomes dark like a cinema. And when it's completely dark, then a movie appears. But the movie is a movie of the window. Yes?
同じ窓です。
So the room captures the image and then plays it back. And then, so the people who came in see themselves walk into the room. And then the movie ends and the real window opens again. So it's a movie making machine. It just continuously makes these short films. So you can also make fiction films with this, like we are doing there. And so that's the window, and it's on the 6th floor of a building in New York, right? Yeah, so I'm going to show 3 short clips about from a film we made as a group around water in a poor part of Bombay city. The way in which a natural well has been it's kind of turned into a private property, into various people's private property. So there are about 100 pipes from people's homes which are pulling out the water from the well. Right? And they have pumps. So there are 100 people sucking at this kind of natural resource. Okay, the second clip is about this. The well story happens because the state system or the normal electrical supply system is failing, right? And there are many different kinds of mafias and semi-legal systems in order to get water. And the way the network then looks like is something like this. So these are all water pipes that are being laid over and over again by people who the government does not officially or has stopped in the past providing water. So they are, no, it's just that there are parts of the city which are considered not legal. And so there are private, or there are, people have to find water in different ways. And this is a part of a complicated story, but this is what it looks like when many different sources are providing the water supply. And the last clip is about a big pipe. This idea of pipes applies to many systems, even the internet, for example. There is the big pipe which comes to the city. But here, for example, because the big pipe is coming from the lake to the city, but it passes through areas where there is no water supply. So people are, for example, drilling into the big pipe. So they are taking water from the big supply pipe for their own use. Right? I mean, and that's not just leakage. I mean, it's also somehow official in a way. So the kind of story, or one of the morals of this story is also that networks which are leaky or which are porous can have some advantages. People can come in and access things without having to officially be part of something. At the same time, we have to deal with the problems of the mafia and so on that it creates. And then we have questions. Yeah, water is very good. Okay, this is again a simple one. This is the view from an apartment in Bombay, seaside apartment. And this is the sandwich seller from... Now we made a contract between these two people to share electricity. But we do it literally, which means that when he uses more electricity or when he uses more light, that light is taken away from her living room. So you see it here clearly. So that's the window, and then that's the... So this works in both ways. Like if the police are coming and he wants to hide, he turns off his light because he's not allowed to have the light. I mean, it's not legal. And when his customers come, he turns his light on. But he has the controls, and she pays the bill in a way because the amount of electricity consumed is the same as if her light were on all the time. Right? And there is a fan which is linked to the fan in her house. So if this fan goes faster, her fan goes slower. These are some electricity projects. But the basic point about electricity projects is that there's nothing new about it. But the way, and it's quite complicated, I haven't described the history of, for example, public lighting and the history of street decoration. There are ways in which the electrical system and its growth led directly to, for example, telegraph and communication systems. And also a lot of the, for example, early telephone networks and all that were riding on top of a electrical infrastructure. Not using the same wires, but sometimes using the same poles and using a lot of the engineering capacities developed by electricians, right? But now, of course, it's become a familiar and accepted and standard kind of product which we consume. And these projects and many others were about trying to disturb that ease or that familiarity with